everyone, welcome back to PyAI Hub. So far, we have been reading data using SQL, but what if we want to make decisions inside our query? For example, if we want to analyze a student pass or fail, or a score is average, good or poor, or the customer value is high or low. So there are so many cases. You see that? The first case was is a student pass or fail, and the second was is a student score average or below average. So that's what we call the case statements. To do this, we use something very powerful in SQL, and that's our query case statement. Okay. So the core idea behind this is this case statement allows us to create new logic-based columns based on the conditions. We know how we add conditions to our SQL query. We add conditions through the where clause, and we know how to use where and where to use it. The where is used after the from and before any other query. And we know that it follows the pattern select from where. It's the pattern we follow. So that's uh, that's how we use where. And in the case of case, close, or case statement, we are using a new logic-based columns for applying these conditions. So we can move on to this and understand how and what's the use of it. Okay, let's do our casual things like the location, TB, all this. If you are new to this video, just follow this and just write this TB PyAI Hub Analytics .db. Okay, and I will show tables. So if you don't have the tables I used here, you can just make one. Okay, so when you jump to this part, you may know how to make a table. Okay, so I'm not stepping on that. Okay, so here we have about 5 tables, and today's video we are taking the marks table specifically. Okay, so let's select star from marks, and then we got the table. The marks contain about 6 rows and its values. Okay, so this table contains the student score. Now instead of just viewing the score, let's interrupt them. Okay, so we have a variety number of scores like 85, 90, 78, all this, and let's do it. Okay, before that, let's add some of the values, because there is no least values. The all the values are above 70. So let's add some values to it. So insert into, let's use marks, and then values. Afterwards, we can write the values. First, the student ID. I would like to add a student ID with the number 27, and the subject should be, let's add, here we have max signs. So let's follow that pattern. Let's add max, and then let's give a score of 57. Okay. And then let's add a few more values like 28, science, and then let's add a marks of 45. I know you guys may be good at science and bad at maths, so me too. I'm not a fan of science or maths, but still trying to love that subjects. Okay, so let's do one more. 28, 29, comma. Let's add math, and don't forget our quotes. Let's give a score of 37. Okay, let everyone pass. I don't want no one to fail. Okay, so this is how we assign the values. Okay, so just check anything is wrong or not. Now we get values inside our marks table. So let's select star from marks and understand. Yeah, we got the columns. So here you got all the column names and the marks. So our first case, we are using the simple way of describing our first case. Okay, so here we are using student ID, subset, score. from which table? We are taking it from marks table. After mentioning the tables, like select, we are using the column names as student ID, then subset, then score. So I selected student ID, subset, and score. Now I would like to add our main thing, the case statement. So I add case here. Afterwards, let's start with when. And so when the value is this, then we need to pass or the condition. Okay. So when it is greater than or equal to 50, so then the student should pass. Oh, sad. It's too high. And else, let's say, let them fail. Okay. And we mention the condition here. Okay. When the score, okay, when our score is uh, greater than 50, then pass, else fail. So we know if the score is greater than 50, the student will pass, or if it's 60, 80, or just 50, the student will pass. But if the score is less than that, he or she will fail. Okay, that's our condition or the case here. And afterwards, we end the case by end as result. Okay, from where we took all this, we took all this from marks. Okay, right. So here we missed a comma. Done. So while we break this down, we are creating a new column called results. Okay, our new column name is result, and we are adding values to that. Okay, and we already insert some values less than 50. Because of that, we have some people who fail in science and maths. Okay, so here we created a new column called a result. Now SQL checks each row. If the score is 50 or more, the person will pass. Otherwise, they fail. Okay. So instead of row numbers, we now have meaningful informations. Last time we do just code and fetch details. Now we are making it to more clarity. We know who pass or fail in the exams clear. Okay. So it shows the meaningful insights from our tables. Okay. So what happened here? It's like data becomes useful when we interrupt it. Okay. I mean, interpret it. Okay. So, and the case helps us to do that. This is where we work. Okay. So, this is our data, and we found the insights from that, and we interpret it using the case statement. So, that's where we stand now. Now we are doing it with multiple conditions. This is more real. In real data analytics, we know that the conditions or the case may be not a single one. There might be a number of case studies or case statements that should be applied to our column or the table. Okay, so here we are moving to our multiple conditions where we use our case. Okay, so let's do it. First of all, we follow the same pattern like select the column names we needed, student ID, subset, score, then case, and we use when. When the score is greater than or equal to 75, then it says excellent. Okay, and don't use comma. Okay, again we start with when. Okay, so here we started with an when query, and we mentioned the condition. Again, we starting with a when without any comma or anything separating that other than a white space. Okay. So, if or when the score is score greater than or equal to 50, then he will be or she will be average. Okay. Else, if the score is neither 75 nor 50, else its pace needs improvement. Okay, so at the end, we say end as, that's the query we use to end this. Okay, end as, we need to mention the column name for this condition. Here I am using the column name performance. Okay, so we also should add the from where we take all this, that is from marks. So this is our result. Math 85 has an excellent score. When it comes to below 70, there is no below 70. Yeah, here it's 57. It's a max with an average, and some people is below 50 who needs improvement. Okay, so now this is more realistic. SQL checks conditions from top to bottom. First condition scores, which is greater than or equal to 75. Then the student is excellent one, or then the score is excellent. The student is always excellent. Okay. If not, check the score greater than or equal to 50. Then she or he is average. Okay. If it is 50, then we say they are average. Else, it's neither 50 nor 75, then we say they need improvement. Like if they don't have up to this mark, they need some more time to study or should put some more efforts. Okay, so the order matters here. This is the order we follow and it really matters. So what happened, what we understand from this is SQL stops checking as soon as one condition is true. Okay, so after a condition is true, then it stop its checking and it don't follow that. Okay, so here we say that when the score is greater than equal to 75, it go through that condition. After that, it check it, then move to next. Okay, that's why we use case here, and that's how SQL works here. So this is a demo example, but in real life, the things change. Okay, but not really from this pattern. Okay, so imagine if you have a company and there is a sales above 1 lakh, which is higher performer, and sales above 50K is a medium performer, otherwise um, lower performer. So that's exactly how analysts used case. So this is how we use case here. Now let's dig deeper. Okay, so here we are using case plus group by, which is a powerful tool we can use in real companies and real analytical ways. Okay, so just the same way, but a little bit different because we are adding group by. Okay, so here we say select, we are giving the case then when score is greater than or equal to 50, then pass, else fail. Okay, then we add end as result. This is how we stop the case study. Okay, this is how we end the case study. Afterwards, we are adding a comma because we are starting another query, that is count, which is our aggregate function. Count star as total students. Okay, from marks group by result. Okay, so what happens here? Now we are not just labeling, we are analyzing. Now we just analyze something. So we group students into pass and fail categories and count how many fall into each groups. This is how real reports are built. So first of all, we check how many students pass or fail. Afterwards, we count. For that, we add the count. So we add it after the case and it count the number of students who pass or fail. And at the end of the query, you can see that we group by results. So this result shows whether how many students pass and how many students fail. So what happens here? First of all, it check who pass and who fails. Then it count. Then it place the results here, and it count how many failed and how many passed. Afterwards, we group it by result. Okay, which one pass, which one fail. So this is how we work with case and group by together. And our big insight, that is, case transforms rows into business insights. Case is important because it transforms everything to insights that were necessary to take decisions. Okay, so as we learn a lot today about case, because it's an important thing that is really used in business industries. Okay, so in this lesson we learned how case works like if else. We may learn if else in Python. If you don't know, that's okay. But if else in Python is like just like this. If it happen, we can do this. Otherwise, that like that. Okay. So if Sachin score 100, we won in match. Else we lose. Okay, that's how if else work. In here, case also, it's just like that. Here we use when and then. Okay. So it also helped to create new columns. You really knew that we made the column names performance, and here we use the column name as performance. Here we use the column name as result. Okay. Also, it allows us to categorize data. Just we used pass or fail, just allow us to categorize. And at last, it is widely used in real world analysis and business insights. Okay. So that's how our case works. So in the next lesson, we will explore subqueries where we write queries inside other queries. So that will be a good video for you guys. And I know it's a bit long video, but it's worth watching. Okay, because it's important. So what is case is it turning data into meaning. That's what the case used for. The case statement used for turning something into a meaning. Now we are not dealing with data, but we are giving meanings to the data. That's how analyzed work with SQL. And that's what we are doing. So that's all for today. Have a great day, guys. Bye.